Well, we wanted to kind of check in and let you guys know why we've been so off the grid the last few months. We haven't put anything really on YouTube
No,
since
we did one.
we did one after
Actually,
Baja, but
yeah.
we filmed that a long time ago and we released it later. We haven't been very active on Instagram.
Mm-mm. I mean, we've give you little tidbits here and there, but we haven't actually been like forthcoming on anything because we were going through some stuff.
Yeah, the last year um, for us has been tough. We've had some tragedies, some losses.
Mm-hmm.
About a year ago, last June, I lost one of my longtime good work friends. 20 years I worked with him. He a sudden heart issue, and one day he was there, one day he's not. That was really tough, and it, it it just was one of those things where you expect someone like that to be around forever, and then they're not. And it was it was the closest person I had lost in my life in a long time, and it was rough.
Rough on you and everybody
Yeah.
at work, and yeah, it was hard.
And then December of that same year, our dog we would had for 16 years, she wasn't doing well the last few months. We had to make the really hard decision to put her down right before Christmas.
Yeah, it wasn't great, but it was needed.
It was really tough, and I thought I was ready for it, but when I was in that room and I watched her pass, I cried so much. I bawled like a baby. I did not expect that at all. There was just a lot of pent up, I guess, regret for maybe not treating her better the last few months of her life. It was tough. We were trying to travel, and
She was in really, really rough shape,
yeah,
where she couldn't be left by herself, and she couldn't. Her bowels were going. She couldn't hear anything at all, and she can barely see
she had had a
us.
stroke a year earlier, and
Yeah.
it was tough.
So that was hard on everybody. And then with Christmas coming, it was just my brother was coming over from Guam to get treatment because he he had prostate cancer. So that was exciting because I'm very close to him. We got to spend time together, but
And we were hoping he could get better
yeah,
treatment here than he could on the island, and he was getting better treatment. And
yeah,
then in February we went to Baja and had a great time. We saw the video and we had a blast. But we came back and Nancy talked to Mark, and
he had been feeling bad while we were gone as well, but he didn't want to say anything to us to ruin our trip. So when we came back, he was in really, really rough shape.
yeah, you couldn't even recognize him. He couldn't get out of bed, and
Nope. And then
that was really
spent a lot of time with
it's
him, which is
tough.
why we were not camping a whole lot. Whenever we had the weekend off, or even during the week, I would go visit him. I'd go with him to his chemo appointments and help my brother, my oldest brother, and his wife, who were caretakers for him, try to help them a little bit so they didn't have as much pressure on their shoulders. So I was pretty close with Mark up until the end, which was really hard.
Yeah, around mid-April, he finally succumbed to his cancer, and um, there was some relief there because he was in a lot of pain, but it was it was another loss for us, and it was really difficult. We'd grown quite close with Mark the last 12 months he was here, and
Yeah.
um, that was that was tough on everybody, and yeah.
So then, shortly after that was Synchro Fest, right?
We went to Synchrofest, had a good time, but it was somber. We just really
It was a little
couldn't
break.
quite enjoy ourselves as much as we wanted to. And when we got back from Synchrofest, the beginning of June, I got sick. Not really sure what it was. Still, I'm not 100% sure. I woke up one morning with quite a bit of pain in my right side by my kidney. The
Lots of doctor appointments.
next day I went to the emergency room. They did CT scans and everything for kidney stones and couldn't find anything. Sent me home. I really wasn't eating much. I had these really really hard stomach pains, like
Like
cramps,
gastro stuff.
and I just wasn't hungry. I lost 10 or 12 pounds in 2 weeks, and um,
No
we
answers.
no
Everything seemed
answers.
fine. Like he was healthy. Everything came up fine. So that was really, really rough. And then
Going to the doctors, and they had put me on a statin. For my family has high cholesterol about 9 months prior, and I had read some articles about how that can interact with you. And one of the symptoms I picked up during all of this was tingling in my feet and tingling in my hands. It was really scary for me. It sent me down a lot of dark searches on the internet and rabbit holes. My aunt has MS, and I had a lot of MS type symptoms.
meanwhile, I'm trying to you know, be as supportive as I can and help him as much as I can and keep everything normal as much as I can
Yeah, I was having
while I'm grieving for my brother.
I was having a really tough time. The doctors didn't have any real answers. They didn't think it was a neuropathy thing. I was pretty confident it was a neuropathy caused by the statin, so I stopped taking the statin, started getting better. But I had built up during this time a tremendous amount of anxiety. And I'm not typically in the past, I'd say, a high anxiety person. I tend to stay pretty level-headed and can solve problems. But this really threw me for a loop. And every time my body felt off again, or my stomach hurt, or my foot was tingly, I started thinking again, oh, here we go again.
You'd spiral out of control.
And I start feeling bad again. And the doctor wanted to put me on some anxiety medication. I kind of refused, and then I finally took one that he gave me, and it didn't do anything for me. It actually made a lot of my stuff worse. Did that for a couple of weeks.
And then, all while this is happening, Pops, my brother's dad, we share a mom.
Mark's dad.
Mark's dad got sick. His heart was giving him issues. He was on all these tubes. He's 85.
He's 85.
85, has dementia. So we had to deal with that, and then
He was in hospice for about 6 weeks while I was sick as well, and so I couldn't go out and visit him much because those days I couldn't get out of bed.
So I would go and to support my oldest brother again, because he was also the caretaker to his dad. And so, yeah, family stuff there's a lot of, yeah.
And then not too long after Father's Day is when Pops passed.
Yeah.
So that was another person that we lost.
I mean, he's older. It was a little.
It was a bit more expected, but
Yeah.
but Tim, Nancy's other brother, lost 2 people in his life in 2 months. 2 people he's close to that.
Lived with him.
So,
Was caretaker of him. Yeah.
that was tough for him.
So I'm trying to be as supportive as I can for him. And then there's another funeral.
Another funeral. I recently on a different anxiety medication that seems to be working better for me. And it's really actually quite hard for me to talk about mental health and being on anxiety medication, because my whole life I didn't give it a lot of credit. I just kind of figured if someone had anxiety, you can just get through it, work through it.
Just don't think about it.
Don't think about it. Do something, keep yourself busy.
Meanwhile, I've had anxiety my entire life, so.
And our daughters have
Your kids
anxiety
have
for
it.
things, and it was really hard on me to realize how wrong I was and how real your mind can make something that isn't really real. And the symptoms that I was feeling, my mind was making up. I had real things. The statins
there were
did
things.
cause neuropathy, and I am getting better from that. But
his brain, he would spiral so much.
yeah,
So much.
if I could just
It made it worse.
turn my brain off for a bit, I could start to feel better. And so I'm only about 2 weeks in. Get off me, B. I'm only about 2 weeks into a new medication, and here we are. We're out camping. This is the first time we've gotten away really since Baja.
Nathan's birthday was yesterday,
Yeah.
so we wanted to go camping. Unfortunately, we lost another family member
Right before we left,
right before we left.
my dad called and said his sister passed. She had dementia, and she was sick for some time, and so it's, you know, it wasn't a surprise to my dad particularly because she had been sick for some time, but it was just another person. So again, that's where we've been. We want to be honest. We do hope to be putting some videos out again as we go. We do see things improving, but
you, yeah.
what I've learned in general is you can't predict the future, and you can't plan everything out, and that's been hard on me. And I'm a big advocate of mental health now, taking care of yourself, advocating for your rights with your doctor. If you don't feel like they're listening to you, reach out. There's people that will help you and talk to you. If it wasn't for Nancy through these times, I don't know where I would be.
Well,
It was
the same for you.
It was really, really difficult. But
I will say, though, having all this happen has brought me and him so much closer. I mean, we've been 25 years married this month. This month. Yeah. I'm just thankful that we were close before. Now we're just obnoxiously close.
I have a whole new understanding of a lot of things, and I'm gonna push to be a better human and a better person, and a more compassionate person. And
yeah.
I've learned that through this. So anyway, that's where we've been. Thanks for sticking around. If you are still subscribed, we like to still make some videos.
Please say you're still subscribed.
But we will see you guys later.
Bye, guys.
Bye.